Hello and welcome to Bible Study with Alice, and today we're on day 56, Psalm 56 of our daily psalm reading. We're reading from the ESV translation, but you're more than welcome to join us from a different translation. As you can see, we're on Psalm 56. These videos are filmed in real time. Today's date is the 29th of December 24, it's a Sunday. And you can find the previous 55 psalms in the playlist below. There is a disclaimer as usual, and that is one, these videos are unedited and also will probably stumble on my wording. Let's get started. In God I trust, to the cry mass according to the dove afar off Terebeth. In me come of David, when the Philistines seized him in Gath. Be gracious to me, O God, for man tramples on me all day long, an attacker oppresses me. My enemies trample on me all day long. Many attack me proudly. When I am afraid, I put my trust in you. In God, whose word I praise, in God I trust. I shall not be afraid. What can flesh do to me? All day long they injure my cause. All their thoughts are against me for evil. They stir up strife, they lurk, they watch my steps, as they have waited my life. For their crime will they escape, in wrath cast down, the people of God. You have kept count on my tossings, put in your bottle. Are they not in your book? Then my enemies will turn back. In the day when I call, this I know that God is for me. In God, whose word I praise. In the Lord, whose words I praise. In God I trust, I shall not be afraid. What can man do to me? I must perform my vows to you, O God. I will render thank offering to you, for you have delivered my soul from death, yet my feet from falling, that I may walk before God in the light of life. That is Psalm 56 complete. Tomorrow we will be doing Psalm 57. I'm going to put on the screen for new viewers who aren't sure what's going to happen next a post-it note. It will briefly explain the psalm, the time period it was written, and any information that is relevant, that I think is relevant for our understanding at the moment. So, Psalm 56 was an unknown, there's no date to it. But with Psalm 56, it's an individual lament. The event that will go with Psalm 56 is it was written by David after he was captured by the Philistines in Gath. So with that, even though historians and scholars aren't sure on an actual year point, they do know that this particular psalm had been written by David after he was captured by the Philistines in Gath. So they know that that was the event that had happened. So the psalm is written by David himself, and it was obviously after the event had taken place, after he was captured by the Philistines in Gath. So it was an afterwards. So it's more like a reflection on what was going on. When I mention reflection, I will come back to that in a second. David expresses his faith in God during a time of great adversity, trust in God, God's mercy, and God's awareness. And those three are the key things throughout Psalm 56. And as it's an individual lament, we're just going to go back to the start of the book of Psalms, and we will talk briefly about individual lament. So, a lament is a type of prayer song that is a cry for God to act in the midst of pain and grief. And these numbers here, they're the psalms that are individual lament. Psalm 56 is just here, as you can see. I'll make it go in a little bit so you can see. So those psalms are individual lament, which is a personal feeling. They're the most common type of psalm. They often begin with an invocation to God, followed by a lament and a request for help, end with an expression of trust in God. So with this particular psalm, David is obviously doing basically the bottom, but what he's doing is he's obviously opening it with an invocation to God, followed by the lament, followed by the issue that was going on of him being captured in Gath by the Philistines. And then he's obviously requesting help from God himself, and he ends the lament with an expression of trust in God. But also he's doing like a bit of a reflection of what's going on so in his lament, even though he's obviously asking for help, asking for God's help in his time of need, and he's obviously requesting that, and he's ending it with an expression of trust in God, that God will help him with his lament. But he's also doing a bit of reflection there as well. He's reflecting on his time of being captured by the Philistines in Gath, and at the same time he's kind of using that in his lament as well. It's kind of like, it's a bit like how I can describe it, the best way I've always been able to describe laments, and then I can add in the reflection bit as well, is so an individual lament is like us doing a personal prayer. It's individual to us because obviously the lament, which is obviously the pain and grief, is our own individual lament. That's ours personal. And then so we start off our prayer with an invocation to God, then we follow that by the lament. And sometimes, not saying all the time, but sometimes we do our lament and we do kind of a bit of a reflection on what's been going on and kind of gain a better understanding of what's going on. And like I said, not everybody does it, and no prayer is right or wrong. There's no right or wrong to a prayer. It's how we want to do it. It's our personal lament. It's our personal prayer. It's personal for us. And if anybody ever says that you're doing a prayer wrong, then that's a reflection on themselves, because they're obviously got some kind of issue where they think that how they're doing things is the right way and how you're doing things is the wrong way. And how I've always been on the belief of, and I've been going to church since I was a young child, so I've been doing prayers since then, and I've gone to multiple different types of churches as well, and I've joined different types as well over the years. So I've joined a vast majority of churches, and I have friends who are of other beliefs and faiths as well, and everybody does things differently. It's always how it's been, and it's like churches. Like you go into one church and they do one thing differently to another church, but it doesn't mean they're wrong. It just, that's how they believe it to be. And it's the same with our prayers, our personal journey with God. It's like some people probably think, why on earth, Alice, are you doing one psalm a day? Why can't you do 2 or 3? I'm sure you haven't got the time to do it. Well, that's probably true. I probably don't have the time to do it. But I'm on the belief that 1 psalm a day is better than no psalm a day. No scripture. I mean, I've done it. I've read the Bible on and off over the years, and I have struggled with keeping on top of it, if more than anything. I understand it to some degree, and I'm always learning. I'm not one of these people that won't say I don't learn from it. I do, and I'm always learning. I'm always watching other people's videos on YouTube, and I always kind of think that's a bit of information I didn't think it could be in relation to. I didn't consider that as an idea. I'm all for, individual expression, and I'm all for, learning from others as well. Obviously, if everybody was teaching everything all wrong, then that'd be an issue then, wouldn't it? But if people are learning something and it's their understanding, they might be able to explain it in a way that is better for you. I've come across a few YouTubers who have explained certain things about the Bible that I knew it, but the way they explained it helped me to understand it. So, so everything is obviously done how we want to do it. So going back to the prayer side of things, and then you're thinking, Alice, you just went on a right tandem then, and then you're trying to link this up to prayers. How did that, all about YouTube, all about individual people learning on YouTube from the Bible, link to our individual prayer? Please explain, Alice. Oh, I'm going to. So the link is everybody's individual prayers are individual to them, but nobody can say how you do it is wrong. It's personal to you. It helps you to understand that God is with you always. He loves you and he wants the best for you. But then with the YouTube side of things, it's the same thing. How you understand the Bible, how you understand the book of Psalms, it's going to be different to somebody else. And YouTubers like myself can come on YouTube and will explain how something is, but if you're watching the wrong type of video or wrong type of YouTuber, and I have come across that as well. I've watched a couple of videos from somebody and I thought, I'm not really linking with this person. I'm not really getting any understanding from that person. I'm not learning anything because I don't seem to understand what they're trying to get at. And it could just be that. But that's not wrong at all. Like, people come onto YouTube to make videos on things like this, Bible studies, to help people to learn from the Bible, help people to understand the gospel, help people to come closer to Christ. Everybody's doing that, obviously, and that's the whole point of it. But there are some people who are able to get God's word across to you, the viewer, in a way that is understanding to you, and it's individual then to you, because it's like them talking to you directly. It's like me talking to you directly. You'd be watching this video and you think, oh, Alice is talking to me directly about this. And obviously the comment box is obviously there for questions and any feedback, whatever. Obviously that's where we can kind of communicate together, is in the comment box. So you'd be watching these videos, making notes, and then you can come to me in the comment box and then pass that information on to me. I do check my mail, like my comments, regular, so I do. Sometimes I just don't really know what to say. I just like what you said, and other times I can comment back. But yeah, so that's where the link is. There's no right or wrong in what anybody ever does. There's obviously a level of what you're doing wrong. Obviously, there is, like, going into a shop and stealing something. That is wrong. There's no right about that at all. What somebody does in that essence is wrong. So committing a crime is wrong. and even God will say that. But going onto YouTube looking for a Bible study class that helps you to understand is fine. That's right for you, because that's going to help you. And it's the same as your prayer. Nobody can tell you what you're doing is wrong at all. Nobody can, because how can they? Because it's yours and yours only. You're the one who are doing this at the end of the day. You're the one who's come to my videos or other people's videos and wanted to understand the gospel and understand God's word, and probably don't even know that your prayer is an individual lament. I mean, there is a community lament, which is obviously based on a community of people, and then I just get one individual person doing it on the behalf of the community. But for this particular psalm, Psalm 56, it's an individual lament, and David has done that because he wants help with what's been going on with being captured by the Philistines in Gath, and wants David wants God to help him through that very tough time in his life, and wants him to be there as a support network to him. We all have that at the end of the day. We all have something bad going on in our life. Case in point, I'm not going to name names for privacy reasons, but a friend of mine's brother died last night, and my friend could do with a lot of support at the moment, and and praying for her would be a community lament. It's the same as another friend of mine. His partner had died a couple of months ago, and she's quite youngish, a bit older than me, but I'm not revealing my age here, but she's not that old really, and she's got a young child, and she unfortunately passed away, and it's quite sudden as well. And that's also then would be a community lament. His friends are gathering around him to support him with his time of need, with his issue that's going on, because we want to support him, we want to help him, and we want to help obviously my female friend who's lost a brother yesterday. We want to be there to support them and really help them to feel God's love, even though at the moment for them both, even though my friend brother's death was literally yesterday, and my other friend, my male friend, his partner died a few months back, and it's still relatively raw for him because obviously it's literally just been a matter of months, like 2 to 3 months since she passed away, and the pain obviously he's going through, and the pain that she's also, my female friend, going through is awful. And that's when they could take their pain and grief and take that to God themselves, and that would be an individual lament. So we could encourage them to reach out to God, help them with the pain and grief. Definitely pain, definitely a lot of grief going on there for them both, and God will support them through it. Well, obviously can't bring their loved ones back, that's obviously the obvious, but he can help them to feel comfort in the time of need. So that is what an individual lament is, and I obviously did kind of bring in a bit of community lament. Not many psalms talk about community lament, but there are some that do. There's more individual laments than there are community laments. But I just wanted to kind of explain where the difference would be for the two, so you can get a bit of a better understanding, and it'll help them both, help you to understand both laments. So when you're going up into church on the Sabbath day, which is obviously today's Sabbath, but you go into church and you stand up on the stand, and then you're doing your prayer, your benediction, or explain, doing your prayer, somebody might say to you, can you go up and do a prayer for this particular person or this particular issue that's going on, and help that issue to kind of, feel a bit better than it is, get God onto the issue. You can get started and try to kind of sort the things out that need sorting out, help people out when needed. God just does what he needs to do at the time he needs to do it. But God can't do it unless you don't. He can only do it if you invite him in to do it. Obviously, that's going to happen in both individual and community, because they both start off with an invocation to God. So God can't come in until you have personally invited him into your space, and then obviously done what you needed to do. Right, so that has taken a while. I do apologise. But I'm hoping I've explained it as best I can. I'm not very good at explaining. I'm just good at reading, and even then I'm not very good at reading. But I just want to help people to understand the gospel. If you have actually got this far, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Right, so at the end is near now. So it's day 56, and it is 29th. That's, I think, now. December. We're still in December, and we're still in 24 by a few days. About 2 days actually now. Yeah, 30th tomorrow, 31st, and then we're on the 1st. Wow, time is flying by. So thank you for watching, and I really do appreciate it if you have actually watched this far in. Please like my content, I really would appreciate that. And please subscribe to my channel. Also, I really appreciate you subscribing to my channel. Please turn on the notification bell so you can get updates of the content that I upload to the channel. And hopefully see you in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.